the most anticipated and significant event in Bayelsa State of the moment, the Bayelsa Governorship Election. I'm Preva Vanessa, and alongside me is the fantastic Joy London. We are your hosts for this momentous occasion.
Thank you, Vanessa. My name is Joy London, and we are live at the GbaramatuVoice TV headquarters, bringing you comprehensive and up-to-the-minute information on the election which will happen tomorrow in Bayelsa State. Join us as we unveil the new governor of Bayelsa State. Come tomorrow.
We're not just here to give you news, we're here to dive deep into the heart of democracy. And over the next few hours, we'll be your guide through the electoral journeys and processes, dissecting the issues, analyzing the candidates, and most importantly, keeping you informed with real-time updates.
We encourage you to join us on this experience. Do well to share, to ask your questions, and to comment your thoughts across all of our social media platforms, through your social media platforms. Let's do this together.
So, fasten your seatbelts, grab your snacks, as we bring to you the GbaramatuVoice live coverage of the Bayelsa election. The stage is set, the candidates are ready, and Bayelsa future awaits.
The Bayelsa State Governorship Election starts now. The coverage starts by GbaramatuVoice TV. Stay tuned.
Don't go anywhere.
Exclusive, just GbaramatuVoice. Your state tomorrow. We encourage you to exercise your rights and join this conversation. By joining us, you get first-hand story of your experiences. Do well to share pictures from your voting centers, from the environment. Let's see what's going on in your state tomorrow. Let's have this narrative of Bayelsa State election. Let's put it out there. You can reach us on our hotlines on the mobile number 081434 59986. Thank you.
GbaramatuVoice, voice of the people. Gbaramatu Voice, voice of the people.
In the government of Sani Abacha. The first governor, Dieprie Alamisia, who governed Bayelsa State between May 29, 1999. Then we had Goodluck Jonathan, who governed Bayelsa State between 9th of December 2005. We hand over to Timmy Silva, who is also contesting to be the governor in Bayelsa State in this year's election. He ruled in Bayelsa State between 29th May 2007 till Wirini Sivarugo, who acted as an acting governor when Timmy Silva's election was nullified. He ruled till 16th April 2008. Timmy Silva came on board again as the governor, got back his mandate on 27th May 2008. Then we had Nestor Binabo, who acted as a governor between 27 January 2012 to 14th February 2012. Then we had Henry Dixon. He was a governor. He acted between 14th February 2012 to 14th February 2020. Then we have Doye Diri, the governor, 14th February 2020. We had, all the while, we've had PDP, the People's Democratic Party, lead the Bayelsa State government. Now, in the last election, David Lyon won the election, but in the court, the mandate was taken over by the PDP government. Now, Bayelsans have their opinions and
his tenure was marked by several challenges, including allegations of corruption, money laundering, ultimately leading to his impeachment in 2005. This impeachment actually led to Goodluck Jonathan being the next governor of Bayelsa State. He was the deputy governor of Alamisia. He was his deputy at that time, but because of the whole issues, the whole corruption and laundering allegations, he was impeached, and Goodluck Jonathan became the next governor of Bayelsa State, who went on to become the vice president of the country.
Eventually became the president.
Became the vice president in 2010 and became the president of the country when the president, the late president Umari Adua passed away. And we had also Timmy Silva.
Then he contested and won the presidency.
He contested and won the presidency.
And led for 4 years before he handed over to Buhari.
Did he even hand over? He
handed over.
Buhari won.
Buhari won the election. He did hand over.
He contested with Buhari. And
he handed over because he left and gave it to Buhari. So we can use the word.
Handed over because that was a peaceful handover. There was no court cases and all of that. So he handed over to Buhari. Yeah, we had Timmy Silva, who was at that time a PDP governor and now an APC governorship candidate. He was the PDP when he was a governor.
When he led, he was a PDP.
Yes, he served 2 terms from 2007 to 2012, but was, during, you mentioned that he had an issue.
He did not really serve 2 terms. It was a 1-term.
It was a 1-term because he had like an issue.
There were issues,
yes,
so
first
he had,
and someone stepped in and then he came back. He was also had achievements and controversies as well, and he resigned as the Minister of Petroleum before he came back to become the governorship.
Talking about Timmy Silva. Timmy Silva was actually delisted
Yeah, he was deleted
and he was
from.
reinstated back by
And why did that
the appeal
happen?
by the courts.
Yes, why did that happen? It happened because there were allegations that he cannot become another
The
governor
governor
for
because
4
he had
years
2 terms.
because he had ruled for 5 years, and it
Yeah.
was against the constitution and all of that. But
considering it didn't really lead for 2 years, and I think that's why I could really get the case in court.
yes,
And now he's the major candidate in the Bayelsa State election.
the APC major candidate,
And APC is the ruling party of the country
right now.
And people really think that the ruling party will be really powerful in terms of the governorship elections in all of the states. Considering the fact, I think Timmy Presiva is also a very strong hand.
He's very strong hand.
Timmy Presiva is popular in Bayelsa State. He has led Bayelsa State before, and we've had lots of Bayelsa people saying really nice things about him. So, considering the fact that PDP has been the ruling party, just maybe there's another chance for somebody else
actually
coming.
happened during the last election when David Lyon of the APC,
David Lyon,
governor-elect, before the night before his swearing in,
yeah,
something happened. There was a situation concerning his deputy, submitting a forged document to INEC, and that was what happened. If not, it
was disqualified. Actually, APC would have come in. That's
APC
true.
would have come in because they had gotten that they won that election until the 9th
until the night before the swearing. That's true. That's true. So even now we think Timmy Silva has a very strong chance. But why should we think so? Because the person is also contesting against. He's a sitting governor of the state.
And we know that it's usually really difficult to unseat a
Why is it difficult to unseat a sitting governor? Is it that the people vote the sitting governor again? Or
politics
goes into the democracy of the state?
We're going to ask our viewers to help us.
So what do you think?
Do you think in our comment section, why do you think that it's really difficult to unseat a sitting governor?
What do you think? I think that, okay, we have 16 political parties actually contesting for this year's governorship election. 16 political parties, 14 males. I'm talking about women in politics. We have 2 of them. So, among the 3 parties, we have the 3 major parties contesting for the governorship elections: the PDP, the APC, and the Labour Party. Now, let's hear a little bit about the Labour Party candidates.
Before we hear about the candidates, before we mention these candidates, it's usually 2 parties that are the main contenders of every election. And I think this year there's been a shift.
Yes,
from this
because of the obedient movement.
Yes, from the presidential elections down to the senatorial.
I think the obedient movement just sort of brought Nigerians into a mind space of believing that there could be a third option.
Yes.
Because the average Nigerian would just say to you, oh, forget about them, it's just 2 parties. If it's either PDP, so if they are tired of PDP per time, they tell you the only person that can contest against PDP is APC, and the only person that can contest against APC is PDP. But that is not even the right mindset to approach our political matters. So I think the obedient movement actually gave room for Nigerians to start believing in the possibility of, look at Abia State, for example.
So
I think even in Delta State, before the election happened in Delta State earlier in the year, it was undecided for the majority of Delta States. Before now, you hear Deltans just tell you, is this PDP candidate that will win? Is this APC candidate that will win? It's a non-fight. But this year's election in Delta State and in many other states
as well,
even in Lagos State, even in Osun State, it was a concern. People were like, it could be this person. It was really undecided for us.
It was really tough for us.
Bayelsa State,
that's like the major thing happening right now in Bayelsa State. We have the APC, we have the PDP, and we have the Labour Party.
Is the Labour Party candidate a threat in Bayelsa State?
That's for
is he a threat against the PDP and the APC?
Because from comments, from observations, it's really a tough one between the 3 of them. But then again, it's left for the electorate in Bayelsa to decide. So let's move on to the candidates for the Bayelsa Governorship Election. Like we have earlier mentioned, there are 16 candidates, 2 females out of the 16 candidates. The previous election we had about 45 candidates for the election, but this time around it sold down to 16 candidates, and I wonder why. I really wonder why it happened that way. So moving on, let's hear some of these candidates for this governorship election. For the Accord Party, we have Idioko Wamate Jones. His deputy is Owo Desmond Inoju. For the AA Party, we have Bufumo Akoebi Alex and Okoya Ladebi Lillian. And we have for the ADC Party, we have Kalango Stanley Davis and Obesi Otasome Benjamin as his deputy. And for the APC, we have Silva Timipre Marlin and Makaiva Joshua for his deputy.
For the ADP, we have the governor Owara Nendi Monyo, and for his deputy governor, we have Omonibo, and
that's one of the female candidates, yes, for the Bayelsa Governorship Election. For the APGA, we have Subiri Waibode Joseph, and for his deputy, Lot Kime Thompson. For the APM, we have Oshari Kenny Saturday, and for his deputy, Ubembo Woye Denfa. We also have for the APP Ogege Kemelaifa Mercy. She's also one of the female governorship candidates for the Bayelsa election, and her deputy is Leah Robertson Kirk. When moving on, for the VP party, we have Ben Victor Magbodo and Ininye Ebiwoye for his deputy, and the Labour Party, Eradiri Udeng Mombofa and Nathos Benjamin for his deputy, and NNPP Azebi Bestman Ayebeke and his deputy Ganagana Ebimobowe. And also for the NRM party, we have Micah Akins and Zikrebo Bios for his deputy. Then for the PDP, we have Diri Doye and his deputy Erujako Lawrence. And for the PRP, we have Otaza Erepade and Okala Azibola for his deputy. And for the SDP, we have Osuluku Binalaifa and Doboy Ebinabo for his deputy. And finally, the Zenith Labour Party, Simeon Imomotimi Kario and Josiah Fambe for his deputy. So in total, we have 16 political parties, 16 governorship candidates, 14 females and 2 females.
14 males and 2 females.
Having 2 females in this election.
And we are not talking about the females.
It's a plus. It shows that they are involving women in politics.
Yeah, I think the time comes where women will begin to. Yes, it's already happening. For instance, the Kogi State Senate position that went to a woman, I think it was declared in court the previous week. Trying to remember her name now. So I think it's really getting to women. We're excited to have 2 women contesting for the governorship election. I know that makes a lot more women happy.
It makes us happy.
It makes us happy too. So get ready. Tomorrow we will decide. It's not about the speculations. Who is going to win? Who is not going to win? Who do you think is going to win? My opinion, I'm very, very undecided. I really cannot tell who's going to win. Let's talk about the development of Bayelsa State. Considering the fact that Bayelsa State is rich, in fact, there are statements by very renowned personalities that Bayelsa State has the ability to crop rice for the entire Nigeria. In fact, the entire Africa. There's a name they call the place, I'm trying to remember right now, that it has the ability to produce rice for the whole of Africa. It's just that Bayelsa State. Bayelsa has that kind of capacity in terms of agriculture, in terms of oil. Bayelsa has an oil-rich state. Bayelsa has water. And it's the reason they are always suffering from the flood challenge. And we really believe that this incoming governors, and they all have it in their agendas and part of their manifestos, that by coming on board, they will try their best to curb the flood situation in Bayelsa State. So we are hopeful. Who do you think would be the next governor of Bayelsa State? Let's have this conversation on the comment section.
Your expectations, general expectations of the elections, the INEC, the security, and all of that. Please share your experience. Don't forget to use the hashtag Bayelsa 2023. Share your experience, share your expectations, share what you expect from INEC, from security, and also for the people of Bayelsa State.
An expert will be joining us shortly to share on the development and policy situations in Bayelsa State. We'll be welcoming Dr. Monday Markels at Chibogu very shortly. Trust me, you want to hear everything about what he has to say. He is an expert when it comes to development and policy matters, and I'm sure we are going to learn something really new from him. So we anticipate. Then ask a few questions. What factors do you believe will play a crucial role in determining that democracy is properly followed in tomorrow's election? Because in Nigeria, most of our elections, after the elections, you hear the satisfaction from citizens complaining about. That's the more reason we need Bayelsans and everybody present in tomorrow's election to send us videos so that we can have this narrative that is correct. Let's see what's the possibility that tomorrow's democracy, if you are aware, any information you have about how things are going on, what's going on in your poll unit, what's the security situation in Bayelsa like. We are aware that the emotional situation around there's a lot of anxiety, both in the economic sector. A lot of people are not making decisions because they are waiting for the new government to come in. What do you think is the democratic state of Bayelsa? Do you think democracy has been properly followed in the last years? Yeah, we have the highly esteemed Dr. Monday Michaels at Chibogu, who I already told you is a development and policy expert. Is joining us on call. Good evening, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm very well.
Thank you so much for joining us on this discussion.
So I'll just go right to a few questions that our viewers are really curious to ask you. How do you assess the political landscape leading up to the Bayelsa Governorship Election, which will happen tomorrow?
So, Bayelsa has a very unique narrative in terms of its political configuration. If some of us will recall, the Bayelsa Governorship Election started off on the 15th state in 1999, and then we had some truncations with the impeachment of Governor BSP Alamaseya, and brought in Goodluck Jonathan as governor. And after that, we had an alteration in the dates for the election for governorships in Bayelsa, general elections in Bayelsa. And we've had very significant key players with a one-time speaker and contesting for governor. We had deputy speakers who are contesting for governor. We have former managing directors of the NDDC, Nialadi and others who are contested. Significantly too, we've had Silva, who eventually emerged as governor after Goodluck Jonathan was made the vice presidential candidate for the PDP, and ultimately became the governor. He served only one term, and with the different narratives, he couldn't get a ticket for a second term. And he's coming in as also a contender for this election. We have Governor Billy, who was in the Senate, coming to be a governor. So there are two major contenders, apart from the Labour Party candidates and other political candidates from other parties. But what makes Bayelsa unique is that it is the second largest wetland in the world.
Yeah.
And comes with people with diverse occupations who are also very politically conscious. channel impact on them. Bayelsa has one of the strongest in terms of council elections. It's more difficult to conduct. So the governorship election is more simpler to conduct in terms of Bayelsa's narratives. But we're looking at exciting times tomorrow. We will see a lot of possibilities. We will see a lot of people who will stand for good life. We will see people who would also bargain for last-minute offers. So the incumbent will make significant attempt also to hold on to power. Mind you that the major opposition is coming from the ruling party at the national level, which is the former governor. And I think he's coming with a lot of weight despite his controversial removal by the courts and then statement at the appeal courts. So, he was also a minister. He's made an attempt to contest at the presidential elections level and drew at last minute. So, he's been a minister of state for petroleum resources. A lot of people believe that they are pockets to contest for the
Thank you, sir. That was
Thank you so much for that.
What factors do you believe will play a crucial role in determining the outcome of the election?
Historically, you will know that politics is always a sentimental matter. It's not about objectivity. Largely so, it has always been like that all over the world. There will be ethnic colorations, there will be religious affiliations, there will be also issues of acrimony. People have scores to settle. During political electioneering like this, the time people settle their scores, they want to remind you of the things you never did for them and what you did for them. So it's always the same time most times around. So what you would see is a lot of sentimental attachments to votes. People also will vote along lines of their zones, where they belong to senatorial zones, their hometown. So you don't expect that candidates will lose in their hometown, except something is wrong. So if you pay back time, you lose in your hometown, not this one.
Yes.
So it's going to be a challenging one. So everybody will try to hold their thoughts. That's the truth. Every political candidate will first want to win his polling unit at the speed and first. So that's the only way you can show actually that you're relevant where you come from. Then secondly, they will also want to hold rounds in places where they have a swell number of persons. Maybe if they have candidates in the House of Representatives, or candidates at the Senate, or candidates in the House of Assembly, everybody will go back to what they call the trenches politically, and then try to win their territory. So the delivery is important for their political party. So if you are in the House of Assembly member and you cannot deliver your constituency and you belong to the ruling party, it will put some question marks to your candidacy if it is your time for second term or possibly the third term as a lawmaker. So these are the issues that you will see and hear. So everybody will try to hold their thoughts.
That's true.
And the Bayelsans, because it's largely riverine, we will have logistics challenges, which are running a very common election. Because a lot of people will be vote driven, the electoral officers and all that. So results don't come in as fast as expected, as in the case of other political activities, places where they are likely of man, like in other places.
Okay, so thank you so much, sir. Earlier you already mentioned the APC and the PDP, but can you highlight, these major key candidates and their political strategies in the upcoming election? Can you highlight for us their political strategies in the upcoming election?
I think what most of them have done, they started even their electioneering quite early before.
That.
If you recall, the APC candidates played a major role during the flooding that happened in 2022, leading to the presidential election. They even brought in the wife of the president. At that time, he was the presidential candidate in Bayelsa, and reached out to people who were hit by the flooding. I think these were also means to score political points. But the governor too has, in his own way, made conscious efforts to reach out to people. He's introduced a transportation system around the state. He's also been able to initiate a road expansion project into places either to or now run to go by road and or motorable. And I think he's also working on the electrification of the state as a whole, which is a project a lot of people have seen as quite ambitious. So most of them are leveraging on what is done in the past. So their scorecard is going to speak for them. The problem is it's very difficult to satisfy the Nigerian electorate right now because of the dysfunctions that have happened between the political class and those who are being ruled. Poverty is endemically everywhere. Bayelsa is not left out in terms of poverty. So people have taken advantage of that. They've done a lot of empowerment things. But the question is, what is the impact? So this candidate, the APC have tried to do that, tried to leverage on people who were disadvantaged by the flooding. They tried to do some empowerment series. They tried to reach out to some communities. They feel that the ruling party in the state has not done that. The ruling party in the state also have tried to entrench them through members of their houses of assembly, their lawmakers at the federal level, creation of employment opportunities for their political associates. So you find a lot of SSAs, SCs, you find a lot of people giving temporary and permanent jobs as a result of their application to the political party.
Sir, thank you. Given the political climate in Bayelsa State, would you say that there is a lot of political apathy?
I didn't hear you. What did you say?
Given the political climate in Bayelsa State, would you say that there is a lot of political apathy?
Apathy will be there. A lot of people have this impression that whatever they do, the winner will always get that the winner has already been decided. And that has actually contributed significantly to people not, in most cases, the elections in the country have never had more than 30% of registered voters coming out to cast their votes.
Yes.
And it's very, very disappointing because it speaks in volumes to how you can hold governance to accountability. If you have that